Welcome to the Swirl Suite, everyone. Whew. So, what is this, week 4 of the Corona?
Week 4.
quarantine?
We're at day 23 for me.
Really? Oh, man.
Day 23 of confinement. So
3 weeks for me, because I went to work the first week, but it's been 3 weeks at home.
How y'all doing?
I guess I'm doing okay.
just deep breaths. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I'm hanging in there. It's not as terrible as I thought it would be, being like quarantined and locked down alone and like not being able to like for real leave. And I mean, not having nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
And also not really working. It's not as terrible as I thought right now. Or maybe I'll just hit like a groove because I have like some projects I'm working on.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Keep myself focused. Yeah. And I'm not ready to jump out the window.
Well, thank
That's
God for
even
that.
better.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. So.
I think I was cranky one day, a few days ago, and I just couldn't figure out why. But I think I was sort of overwhelming myself because everybody's producing content right now. So you get all these invitations for all these virtual chats and all of these virtual happy hours and read this article and I wrote this. And I think I just wanted to read and do it all. And yeah, I was just starting to overwhelm myself. So
I understand.
Do you?
Yeah, I did that week 1. I was like, so I wouldn't get to a point. I was like, let me fill up everything right now so I won't not have anything and then be like sad and depressed later. So I'm like, okay, let me preempt it and let me do everything. And I got extremely overwhelmed to a point I was like, okay, I'm gonna just sit the ball in the corner and just, figure this out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait, I don't have to do it. Because there's also so much pressure. Like you said, a lot of people are putting out content and read this, do this. And then you have all those posts, oh, well, you should come up with a side hustle. Now's your time to be creative and work on all these projects you didn't get done.
Yeah.
How about I want to just sit here in the corner and think about not having a job? Or I want to think about the state of the world or how things are going to go when this is all over. How will this be over? How will this end? So if you don't want to be creative, then you know what? Don't be creative right now. Give yourself time to just process it and chill and work on the skincare routine. Like that could be your project. And drink more water. Like those are 2 easy projects that I think everybody can handle. But that's it.
It's okay to just sit still.
Exactly.
I think there's this thing where people like, I always got to be doing this and I don't always have to be talking.
Yes.
I don't always have to be on the phone. I don't always have to be on the go, get out the house. I'm okay just chilling and doing nothing. Being butt-ass naked in my house, like what?
Mm-hmm.
I tell me a damn thing, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good, so.
Yeah. I think it's sorry to get too deep, but I think there's a level of peace that you have to have with yourself in order to do that.
Yeah. And I guess, and I think a lot of people.
Let me pour myself a because you
don't screw that top. Pour it, girl. What are you drinking? Like
what are you drinking? That rosé is so pretty.
Looks like Chapoutier.
Oh my God,
top.
yum. It's I gotta get this light right. It's Belarus.
Oh,
it is Chapoutier. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize the top part.
Say Miss Frenchie, because I know
I'm not even repeating it.
You gotta help a sister out. That's my go-to. How do you say that? Person. That would be Girl Meets Glass, Tanisha Townsend.
So yeah, we have a special guest today. Hey, Alisha, how are you?
Hey, Alisha.
Hi, I am doing well. I'm just giggling, and I was like, I had to put myself on mute. I was like, I don't think I can make it through their intro without me laughing out loud. So let me just put myself on mute. I do wish I had a glass of wine, but it's only 1:30 here, so I have to wait like a few more hours.
Oh, okay.
Girl, no, you don't. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 10 o'clock here. So
girl, you need no reason.
10:30 here.
On your drink.
Hold up. Are you in your house quarantined with children?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
yeah,
well, girl.
Right. Girl, it's airport rules. You can drink starting at 9.
Airport. But then they ask me things and then they want me to do things for them. And it's really hard when you day drink and I can't.
Okay. Day sip? Maybe a day sip.
A day
A little
sip. Yeah.
something, a little mimosa.
Yeah,
Right.
you're right. Maybe I just need to mix it
Day
with
taste.
something else.
It's a
Yeah,
wine,
just a little
or
bit.
it's a wine tasting. It's classy. Just take a couple sips.
Girl, go ahead and have some cold tomato soup with vodka. Also called the Bloody Mary.
Right. If you like a grilled cheese with that, fine. If not, that's fine.
You know what? You just gave me a great idea because I just got some vodka in the mail. I don't typically drink vodka, but I also have cans of tomatoes. So I guess I could just be
Well,
making my own
There you go,
homemade
girl.
Bloody
Muddle 'em.
Marys.
Just muddle
That's
'em.
it.
You got
Mhm.
some shrimp, some olives, some bacon. Girl, what?
Ooh,
Yeah. Okay.
There
Okay.
it
That's
is.
my project this weekend. Breakfast.
there
Voila.
it
You can wait till the weekend, fine. If not, I mean, have at it.
You know, I worked really hard to try to get all my work done by today. I've been like I work from like I don't want my bosses to hear. Anyway, I've adjusted my work schedule to maximize my time,
There
my
you go.
personal time.
Uh-huh.
So I'm mostly
go.
done with my work. So kind of today is the start of my weekend, believe it or not.
Oh, oh, well,
Oh, Maxi Flex.
Yeah.
there it is. There
Maxi
it
Flex.
is. So, Alisha, introduce yourself to everybody and tell us what you do.
So my name is Alisha Sommer. I live in the Bay Area, about an hour east of Oakland, which technically is not the Bay Area if you ask Bay Area people, but but nobody knows where Brentwood is except they think I live in the same place that O.J. Simpson used to live, and I'm like, it's not that. That's L.A. Brentwood. I live in Oakland Brentwood. So I am a writer and a photographer, and right now I'm like a lover of wine and food, and I do marketing for a couple of wineries out here in the East Bay. They're super small, probably never heard of them, but that's kind of what I do. And I have 3 kids, and that's basically it. I just like bringing people together. I like talking about life and food and wine and books and beautiful things, and I think that's, I think a lot of people who love wine are just like lovers of all good things. And that's what I think of myself as. I love all good things.
Nice.
Very nice. How has your quarantine been so far?
As a homebody and an introvert, I thoroughly enjoy this.
I second that.
That's why I try to get my homework or my school, their homework. They've got a lot of homework. My work done as soon as I can, because that's like, and because I'm in California, the weather is pretty nice this time of year. So I get my hammock time, I get some sunshine in the backyard, and it's probably, my kids all have Chromebooks, so they kind of get to do their own thing. So they don't really bother me that much, except when it's time to eat. And luckily, my husband and I have worked from home together for a long time. So like, I don't want to like kill him, like
Okay.
I'm not,
Yeah.
we're not at that point where we are sick of each other. Like we've been doing this for a really long time. So it's like normal for me. I like it. I like it. No commute.
Oh,
no, like,
yes.
I'm loving that. I'm loving no commute.
I drove the car to go pick something up last week, and I was like, what, this feels weird. What are all those bumps? I don't know, what was it like to drive? I forgot how to drive. I was like, oh my goodness, good thing nobody else is on the road today.
Girl, you gotta get you a chauffeur.
Yes, indeed.
Just get you a chauffeur.
I do. My dad calls that, my mom's the same way. She doesn't like to drive, so he always says he's driving Miss Daisy, but that's what she does. She just sits, he does all the driving. And that's what I want too. I'm like, I can drive, I just don't like to. I would rather just sit back. I'll backseat drive. I'll tell you what to do. I just don't want to actually have to do
it. So tell us about how you became a writer and what made you start writing about wine specifically.
So I think I've always been a writer. Like as a kid, loved reading books. I read all the time. And so I knew I just wanted to be a writer when I grew up. But then of course, you go through school and people tell you that like, that's not really a job. So like you do something that's real. So I kind of put that to the side for a long time. But then when I became a stay-at-home mom, just having time to kind of reconnect with my creativity. And so writing and journaling kind of became that way for me to have that process, and also just like very therapeutic. I find writing to just be very therapeutic. And then with the wine, once I started to really get into it, my husband used to manage restaurants. And so he was kind of I always tell people, like, he did not introduce me to wine. He likes to take credit for that. He thinks that he introduced me to wine. However, I was drinking Yellowtail Shiraz before I met him. Okay. I was drinking some Shiraz before I met him. So I was drinking wine already, but him being in the restaurant world and the fine dining world introduced me to better wine. I got better wine. So my palate expanded and my taste got a little bit, I don't want to say better, because I think there's a good, like, all wine is good for somebody, but my desire to taste new things expanded. And when he started working for a wine distributor, we got he won a trip to go to California. And so then I came to California, and then it was kind of, once I had that experience of being in the setting of where wine is made, where you're like, you get to see the vines and the land, and you're talking to winemakers. And that's when I kind of really began to understand that it's a story. Like, it's actually another version of storytelling. And so I just love the parallels between making art and making wine, and like all of that it encompasses. And so I don't know, I try to somehow encapsulate that. But I also found that some of the wine writing just wasn't approachable to me, or like not appealing to me. And so I just try to write from my own point of view, and whatever I think makes the most sense to me.
That's cool. And your blog is called SommerSalt. Is there a story behind that name? Because Summer, I know that's your last name, but why the salt?
The salt, because salt is like one of the essential elements in cooking, because it's what gives everything
you better
flavor.
Bring it back. I love that.
So yeah, there's actually an intention behind that. No, because I think of, and like, salt is just essential to life, right? Like, it's an important thank you, an important element for even your muscles to work, right? So it's salt and potassium. That's how your body moves. So like, salt is so essential to everything. And so that's kind of like the tagline of the blog, is essentials for life, which I think are like food, wine, and words for me. I love food, love wine, love writing. There's not as much food and wine on there right now, but watch for that now that we're quarantined. I do have some other projects to kind of develop and work on, but that's how the name came about. Like, I wanted it to be about the things that I found to be really interesting, and kind of storytelling about what I consider to be like the essentials for living for me, which is food, wine, and words.
So are any of your articles published in any of the wine magazines, or is it just strictly your blog? So I can see it.
Stuff is, yeah. So if you go to Blackberry and Beverage, I worked with another woman, Angela Burke, who's based out of Chicago. This is back before I moved to California. We did a series of profiles of Black men and women in the food and beverage industry. So that's kind of the most, I'd say, the most writing in wine that you'll see online. That's not my Instagram. There's other writing other places. So there's some things in Chicago. Mostly you'll find my wine and food photography. It's been published. So I've had some things in Vine Pair. I did some cocktail recipes for them last summer.
Okay.
Oh, well, I made them summer. They came out in the fall issue of their print magazine, and on the web. Pictures that I've taken of other people in the industry are in wine enthusiasts. I've been in nice. Chicago Reader and Chicago Eater, and so other local publications. So it's kind of like dotted around. And I do a lot of ghostwriting too. So I have written, but my name's not on it. So it's in other places.
Okay. Great.
In some of your pieces, especially your Instagram page, there are a lot of your photographs that do not show your face. What inspired that?
So one of the reasons it's actually kind of more political in that, like, as Black women, I think historically we haven't had a lot of control over how we've been portrayed in media. And with the advent and like the growth of social media, and I mean, almost everybody is online and they put their faces out there. And I think it's just really powerful to be able to control how you are seen and want to be seen in the ways that you can. And so it's like a combination of that. I also am, again, an introvert. The first time I was recognized out in public because of Instagram, it like really made me uncomfortable. Like I was like, oh, so I'm kind of an introvert, so I'm kind of private. But I think there's also something too interesting and important about showing Black women who like just doing normal things. Like Black people just drink wine. Black people can also just drink coffee. Black people cook food. Like I also think that there's something important about showing a Black body doing something really normal. It doesn't have to, that's not performative in any kind of way. I'm not trying to entertain you, just like
Right.
doing life. And this is what the life of a Black person could look like, which may be different than what you have been seeing in media before.
Interesting. That's a great premise. Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
So you did mention the Black food and beverage that you were involved with. How did that happen? And you were living in Chicago at the time? How did that come about?
I don't know how Angela found me, but we connected probably through Instagram. And, you know, she just had this idea and she's like, I need a photographer. And like, she's like, I know you are in the industry and you like wine too. And you know some people. She's like, let's just gather some people together. Because again, it's like that representation piece. We know, and Angela works with other, with chefs and other people in the food and beverage industry for marketing. And she's like, we go out to eat, we go out to liquor stores and wine shops, and we're trying to buy wine and have these amazing dining experiences. But where are the people that look like us when we're out in these spaces? They are somewhere, but they don't get the amount of press that they should, or the recognition that they should. And so we kind of like, we emailed people that we knew, and then and luckily I knew some just because from my husband working in the restaurant industry and being in wine sales, I had gone to the restaurants. And so I was like, okay, I know these people, you know, those people, and then let's just Google and like cold email and call as many Black people that we can in Chicago that are doing really awesome things in food and wine. And so that was probably one of my most fun projects. One, because I got to see a couple different parts of the city that I really didn't spend much time in. Met some all of them are amazing people too, just like all about community, and also trying to excel in their fields, which was just really just Black excellence, right? It was like really fun to be with people who were super passionate about food and wine. Also just reiterating the things that we said, like, it's actually not our imagination. Like there are some really important systemic and political things and reasons behind why you don't see Black people on covers of magazines, and why aren't they executive chefs when they've been working on the line for as long and they've worked their way up from being a dishwasher, or they are actually classically trained but still can't get an executive chef position. Like, what does it look like for the politics for them on the inside? And like, why is it hard for a Black dishwasher to become a som, like Derek Westbrook? It was awesome to hear his story. He started out like busting tables being a dishwasher, and thankfully somebody gave him the opportunity to take over the wine. And then, you know, he's doing great. You know, he's a 40 under 40 on wine, and you know, so it's, but it's like, how do we, and that's what I loved about that conversation. And then when we did like follow-up press after that, it was, you know, like Black people and people of color are in these spaces. And how are we going to keep addressing the reasons and the ways in which people keep, or like what's in process, like what's at play here that's not getting us or allowing us to have the capital and the opportunities to be great, because we are, but nobody's letting us.
Institutional racism.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
And how do we fix that? I think since Black food and beverage, you're starting to see a little bit more and more of this conversation being more out there in the open, but still, man, it's hard. It's really hard for.
Yeah, I think I think more of us need to be at the top in the boardrooms and the, you know, behind the scenes making these decisions.
Right.
And it's hard. It's hard for us to, you know, try to get there. But yeah, we definitely have to do something.
And even when we were talking with reporters who are reporting on that story that Angela and I were working on, they would be like, yeah, you're right. We need more people of color at the writers' table so that they're on the magazines and then the newspapers so they can write about it. And what happened? Or we're like, oh, here's two people. Here's two Black writers. we're right here. Anybody want to let us have assignments?
Yeah.
You know, and not, you know, and like nothing. Angela's actually been doing some great writing too for local publications, but still, it's like you're telling us that you agree with us, and yet
Lip service.
all lip service,
Lip
lot
service.
of lip service.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's any different than any other industry, because
Right.
a lot of actors will say, you know, acting is great, but we need people who are at the networks making the really big decisions about shows and writers and that sort of thing. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And it's frustrating because it's like, how many more times do we have to show you that people will pay to consume us? You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
you are choosing the ways in which you want us to be consumed, but we're telling you, like, if you just give me time on air, if you just give me space in a book or in a magazine or on a newspaper or at a restaurant, I can take this to another level. Why you don't see that?
Oh, they see it. They see it, and that's the issue.
They see it because they're paying to beat us. They pay to literally beat us. To have their mouth done and get their hair a certain way and to have their body look a certain way. You're paying to be us, so don't act like you don't see us.
Well, you see us very well, but I think the biggest thing is fear of becoming obsolete.
Oh, sure.
Because you have put obstacle after obstacle have bombed when we said, okay, fine, you have yours, let us have ours. Then you come to ours and destroy it because of what? Your diseased mind. Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. We were like, fine, do what y'all do. We got our banks, we got our newspaper, we got our beauticians, we have everything right here contained, and we're living fine. What? Oh
no, we gotta set that on fire.
Boom.
To the ground, they burnt it. Yeah.
So, yeah. We okay. But every time we decide that we want to elevate ourselves, and we do elevate ourselves, it's that big boot. Let me put this on your neck. I think you're moving too fast. I don't want you to be there.
I mean, that's exactly what happened with Honey Pot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that backfired, though.
Oh, big time.
Very much so. Very much so. Very much so.
Well,
how that conversation went.
So
everything
right. I'm like, I don't know the transition out of this.
But yeah.
Y'all want me to do a dance? Like, I don't know how to transition out of this. What y'all drinking? I mean, where are we going? Man, how about those? Nope, no sports team.
No sports on And what you do, we'll sit. That's what we'll do.
Right. Right. So, Alisha, tell us about some of the creative gatherings that you said you host.
Yeah, so one-day workshops and online workshops that are centered around writing, and then my most favorite one is Fever Dreams Collective, which is like an art. I guess it's like an artsy retreat, but it's about 16 to 18 women, and it's in Sonoma at this beautiful ranch called Westerbeck Ranch. It's only 10 minutes from downtown Sonoma, so you're like in wine country, but you don't really feel like you're in wine country because you're secluded in this property. Super quiet. It's one of those places where like it's family owned, it's been in the family for a long time, like since the mid 40s. The food is fantastic. It's like the best food ever. 3 meals a day. Like nobody wants to leave because they just want to keep eating, essentially. It's like, it's one of the best experiences. But it's like our last one we just had in October, and it was just lovely. It's so peaceful. You wake up to the sounds of birds and like the frogs, and watch the sunrise up over the mountains, and you see the deer. And we went to Scribe and did a wine tasting too, because if you're in wine country, you have to have a wine tasting at some point, like that's part of the deal. So there's always a wine tasting involved there too. But really it's like a lot of it's just like a respite. I feel like particularly women, because we tend to, and those who are women identifying, because we do so much, like we have the propensity to do so much, even though we don't really want to be doing as much as we do, a lot tends to fall on our shoulders. And so I just really love that I can help provide a space where people come to rest. We also tell people, like, at the end of the day, you paid money to come here. And so if you don't want to come do the activity for the day because you just want to sleep or lay by the pool, like, this time is yours. And it's probably the only time that you have where nobody's asking you to do anything, and you're fed. We provide wine at every meal. Like, you get to eat and drink to your heart's content and relax. And so there's that element of being in space with women, being creative, which I think everybody has that creative energy in them anyway. And so kind of exploring different ways to be creative, and then eating and drinking really well. So it's fun.
That sounds fantastic.
So what are some of the activities?
Yeah. So we do some writing, usually like introspective writing or some journaling or poetry practices. There's a photography element, because those are my two things. And then my friend Jeanette, who comes down from Seattle, she is into botanical dyeing. And so we do like these really cool projects where we gather plant material from around the ranch, and then it goes into a big pot. We've done handmade notebooks, and paper products. And then this past fall, we made these beautiful silk scarves that we dyed. They were amazing, just to kind of see, like, using the different techniques and leaves, or if you use this flower, if you use these things. And yeah, it was just a really fun.
Oh, that's
fun
nice.
Kind of way.
That sounds really nice.
Exactly.
I mean, and your voice does not help the situation, because your voice is calm already.
Oh, thank you. I read you poetry. People are like, can you just read me the poetry as we go to sleep? And then, so I always start off every morning with reading poetry at the retreat too, which is always a nice way to set the day. Yeah.
Gosh, it sounds so zen.
It is. Right. And I'm super bummed that we didn't have one this year, but turns out it was a good thing that we didn't plan to have one in 2020, because we wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. So 2021, if we can get the COVID in check.
Right.
I think we may try to bring it international. I'm going to come see you in France.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this part of the show, we get to know you a little bit better and just ask you like random, not so rapid questions. Okay. And everybody can answer these, actually. These are kind of new. Pen, paper, laptop, or typewriter?
Oh my goodness. I use all of them at varying
times. Do you
times.
really? A typewriter?
I have 3 typewriters. One's electric, 2 are manual. Yeah. I'm a writer. I have to have a typewriter. You have to have a typewriter if you're a writer.
That's for sure.
Those are only for fun projects though. I don't use it. But pen and paper. I'm like old school fashioned. My husband's like, use your phone for your calendar. I'm like, no, I like to write it in a planner. Like, I have a planner. He's like, but then you never remember things. I'm like, I don't care. I know, but but it's in a planner. I need to write it out. So yeah, pen and paper.
Tanisha and Glennis, what about you?
I'm definitely pen and paper, because it helps me memorize too. So at work, I'll write my paragraphs out and then type.
Oh, okay.
And then type it in, whatever. We have forms where we do our regulatory, our reviews. And most of the time I'll write it out and then type it in, because I'll eventually have to brief management. So my writing, I'm like, oh, it'll jog my memory later, because my ass getting old and I can't remember like I used to. Yeah, pen and paper.
Tanisha, what about you?
Yeah, pen and paper for me. Just because, I don't know, that's how I've always done it. So I have like notebooks everywhere. Like, it is a notebook like all over the apartment. Desk, nightstand, kitchen table, end tables, because I just need to write stuff down.
There was about 5 years ago when I went like completely paperless. I was like, oh, I don't need no paper. Do y'all know that when I went to write a sentence after all this paperless stuff, I misspelled so many words and I just couldn't. It's like I couldn't even complete a thought. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Okay, I get it. So from that point on, I'm pen and paper. I do both. So I have a paper calendar and I use an electronic calendar. So I just try to do both.
Right. Yeah, because the computer, everything will say, oh, got a red line. Oh, I misspelled that. You go back. So
Right.
Exactly.
You don't look at it close. You like, just fix it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
right.
that's the work.
That's why I paid all this money for you. iPhone, iPad.
Right, but then also you think like, man, you paying Sally Mae all this money, so like you should know how to spell it. Like, you should have worked that out. So it's like a vicious back and forth.
How do you guys take your coffee?
Black.
Like me.
Black? Everybody take their coffee black?
Black.
Yeah.
Okay.
I take mine black now, but I definitely used to do cream.
Okay.
So I'm trying to, cut back on some things, and cream was the first thing.
Okay.
Yeah. If I have leftover whipped cream from something like waffle, like a waffle day, whipped cream. Yeah. If I have like fresh whipped cream, I'll put that in my coffee the next day if it's left over. But yeah, because sometimes the richness of the cream in the coffee, it's good. That is good. Yeah. But mostly black every day.
I like oat milk.
Oat
milk.
OAT.
Yeah.
Like you said, OAK.
Oat milk. Yeah.
Me out of here. She was like, oat milk.
It's
like, just drink wine, girl.
You go out there and be milk.
Cabernet. Like, why are you doing
it? Sabrina came up with some new shit. Milk. I thought that was sad. But I can't mess with Sabrina because she comes up with some new stuff.
I mean, the ultimate way to take it is I like some amarula, which is a liqueur, a creamy liqueur, similar to Bailey's. Like, I'll throw that. It's from South Africa. I'll throw that in the coffee.
Oh, really? I've never had that before.
I have to write that down.
How do you spell it?
Yeah, how do you spell that?
AMARULA.
Oh, okay.
I got a bottle
it's an elephant on the front. It's delicious.
All right. Whenever we're free. Well, our liquor stores are open. I'll see if somebody can.
Liquor stores are essential. So
yeah, let me see if somebody can deliver it to me.
I'm trying to find one that delivers because I don't think it's any that I like within a kilometer of me. So we got to see. I'm making a run for it tomorrow. Wish me luck.
So when you add up to coffee, and this is feel good when you're drinking good coffee. I talk about Folgers, and I'm not speaking bad of it, but when you're drinking specialty coffees like Jamaican Blue Mountain, different coffees like that, I like to taste the flavor of the coffee.
Sure.
Not the sugar in the cream. Yeah. But like the rest of you said, like Tanisha said, Amarula is delicious. Bailey's is good, especially if you're on a plane because they never had Amarula. And fresh whipped cream, my God, I can eat that by itself. I don't need to fuck it up with coffee.
Like coffee.
Messing up my cream, just eat the whipped cream.
Get out of here.
What was your favorite game as a kid?
Oh,
Candyland.
Glennis, you got an answer. What's your answer, Glennis?
Jax. I'm an only child.
Jax.
Oh, oh my God.
Clearly an only child.
My mother tried to teach me how to play this. I just didn't understand. Like I got it. I just didn't think it was fun.
I didn't want to understand. Like I just didn't want to.
And then she tried to tip me. She tried to teach us Jack's pickup sticks. Y'all remember that?
Pickup sticks.
Yeah.
Oh God. I was like, this is not fun.
I'm like, the Legos are right over there. Like, why are we playing with this? Like, did somebody throw this apple? Like, why are we playing with this? Are we poor? Why?
And she used to make us do it. She used to make us play these games when the power went out.
Right.
So I was like, this is punishment. This is awful.
We would still play board games. That was always our thing. Board games and card games.
Oh, yeah.
We would have family game night.
Alisha,
we had family game nights. Gosh, I'm trying to think if I really liked any of them that I did. I don't know. Maybe checkers, but only, and I don't know that it was my favorite game. It's just the one that my brother and I used to fight over the most. So I just remember playing it a lot because he will always tell you that like I have a mean streak in me because I got so competitive, which can make me mean because I threw the checkerboard at him during a heated game. But I was like, you probably deserved it. You must have said something for me to chuck a whole checkerboard at you. So that's what I remember playing a lot
Is he older or younger?
Younger.
Younger.
So he probably deserved it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Probably. I'm with you, girl. He probably did. Younger brothers be doing anything.
I used to like Sorry.
Mhm.
Oh, that was fun.
Sorry was a good one, and I loved Pictionary.
I thought it was a good one. You know what? I like Uno right now because it's a game I can play with my kids, and it seems like I'm doing a lot, but it goes so quickly that I don't feel like I'm having to play games like all day.
Yeah. Uno is timeless. Like that game will live forever. Even though it's like some silly new Uno rules.
Yeah.
But like I don't play with those.
Yeah, we threw those cards out.
Is Uno a black thing?
No.
I don't hear anybody of any other race talking about Uno like we do.
No, they play it. I feel like they don't talk about nothing. Like we don't hear them talk about anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You made me. I was leaning back in my chair too hard from laughing at it. My phone fell over. Yeah. No, they don't talk about anything. No.
From kids games, but what I just started playing was Cards Against Humanity.
They definitely play that. That's their game.
Yeah.
Because you think I learned how to play it? Yeah. They have it.
They play a lot of charades too.
Girl. Games, board
Yeah.
games that are charade-like. So you add I was like, so you're supposed to do what until we get back around to you? You're supposed to stand there until you get. I was like, okay, this game.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I said, we just can't play some spades. What's up? No, that's what grown-ups did in my house. Like,
girl, they don't play card games in real life. They play
Pekino?
them on the computer. They play solitaire stuff on the
Pekino.
Solitaire.
Oh my goodness. You're taking it way back. Man.
I asked it.
What is your favorite word?
Word?
Mm-hmm.
Only one
Tanisha.
word?
Oh God. Really, Tanisha? Okay, I'll say word or phrase.
Depends on the situation.
Yeah.
I'll say outstanding a lot. If I'm, just in general conversation, people say, oh, that's outstanding. And the reason why that came to mind, because I've had some people say, oh, outstanding. That's how you remember me? Because I said outstanding too much, I got you.
I would have picked phenomenal for you, because you say phenomenal more than I hear you say outstanding.
I had to change up.
You change up.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know.
Call you out like outstanding.
Okay, phenomenal. Okay, that was March. We in April. Okay, got it. I'm sorry. I wasn't here.
I think my favorite phrase right now is beauty hunting, which is what I use a lot of in my Instagram stories, but it's kind of like a way for me to, particularly when there's things that are hard going on, like to always be looking for something good to celebrate or appreciate. So that's probably the one that I use a lot right now.
That's phenomenally outstanding. Oh, I'm sorry. Couldn't resist that.
I say I use the word comfortable a lot. I don't know if I do it in my regular, like just at home, but at work, I have to start sentences with, are you comfortable with? I'm uncomfortable with what went, I have to use that word a lot. So I use
what is your work situation about? This is troubling to me.
Girl, ciao.
I'm furrowing my brow too. I'm like,
right.
Are you a therapist? Are you a counselor of some kind? Because
right. Because that's what it sounds
who are you asking permission from?
Right. Like, are you comfortable? I'm not comfortable. I'm actually uncomfortable.
I'm not going to say the agency, but I work for a government agency that has a lot to do with COVID-19 right now. So it's a complete shit show. It's crazy.
Oh, good. Yeah. Sure it is.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well,
okay.
Tanisha, did you say your word?
Tanisha, yeah.
I'm not taking that. I have to give a real word.
I can't leave it at that.
No.
favorite word or phrase? Drink up, wash your hands. I don't know. Pick one of those.
All right. We'll take it. We'll take it.
I'm mad you gave me that all right, like a mom, just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Are you uncomfortable with that, Sarita? Are you uncomfortable with my answer?
What can make you comfortable?
Right. What can I say to make you comfortable?
Oh my God. Okay. What is your favorite fruit?
Watermelon. Let's just go ahead. I love watermelon, but I love most fruits. But if I could find more watermelons with seeds, I would eat it more. But this GMO, no seed, seedless watermelons, it just makes me.
That's a thing? Wait, what?
Seedless watermelons?
That's all you can find here.
That's all you can find here.
What?
Oh my goodness. The Europeans, they have all the organic food.
What? I don't think you understand how in shock I am.
I can hear it in your voice. I hear it in your voice.
You thought I was joking. No. Mm-mm. When I was in Thailand, I was like, just keep bringing them watermelon because they got seeds. They were looking at me like, oh my God, this girl crazy. I was like, no, just keep bringing the water. I ate watermelon the whole time. Everything with seeds, star fruit, guava, everything had seeds. I was like, praise Jesus. It's not genetically modified.
Wait, so the watermelon doesn't have seeds?
No.
Listen, all y'all in unison. No.
Right. And we got a hand on our, we like, no.
I mean, if y'all could see the three of you together do that, y'all. I mean, your head shook the same direction. You went left, right, left. Everybody there.
No. I remember we had neighbors that moved next door to us from Ireland, and he was like, and the son came over for dinner, and he was like, it's so confusing to me because in your grocery stores, there's like an organic section and then there's a regular section. He was like, in Ireland, everything is all together because it's just all organic. I don't know. He's like, I don't understand why you have separate sections. And I was like, that must be nice. I don't know why we do either.
Right. Money.
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
They don't want anybody to eat real food.
Yeah.
Because the less organic food you eat, the sicker you become, and big pharma makes more money.
Girl, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
It is.
I was about to say, because if you ate better, you wouldn't be overweight and you wouldn't be getting COVID-19. So there's that.
Tanisha, what's your fruit?
Green apple.
Oh, nice.
Green apple. Yeah, I like a good pear, like when it's still kind of crispy, but it's just starting to become sweet, but it's not too sweet. That's one of my favorite fruits.
Nice. That's like the Asian pear. It stays crispy. Me too. Me too.
I am a grapefruit fan.
Me too.
Oh, grapefruit are delicious.
Grapefruit, pomelos, like anything in that whole family. I love it.
Got a refrigerator full right now too. Yes, indeed. Because I could not get stuck in this house without having a grapefruit. It's grapefruit season and not watermelon season. Can't
All right. So this is the last question for everybody. What was the last cocktail you photographed?
Oh, that's
last one I photographed.
That's easy.
What's the last cocktail you took a picture of?
Kentucky Mule.
Ooh.
Kentucky Mule with bullet bourbon, ginger beer, and my favorite accoutrement, lime.
That sounds really good.
Right?
Kentucky Mule. I think I have a picture somewhere here.
What is the last thing I took a picture of?
There it is, right there. I don't know if y'all can see that.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
So I think the last one I took a picture, I've had a lot of them to drink. Like I drank a lot, but I have not photographed them. But the last one I photographed, it was, I think one of the ones I did for Vine Pair, and it was my favorite one of the three I made, and it was some blood orange bitters with a dry vermouth and a splash of brut rosé made from Malbec.
Oh, nice.
And with a twist
My
of an
God.
orange peel, like an orange twist in it. It was really good. So it was like, had this super earthy, but just a little bit of sweetness, but not too much. And I love like weird kind of
That sounds fantastic.
savory cocktails. I like savory
Yeah.
cocktails. Yeah. Just
Nice.
cocktail. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Tanisha, you got a cocktail?
Dang. I haven't taken a picture of a cocktail in a while. I took a picture of somebody else's cocktail. And that was a bee's knees. But yeah. The bee's knees, somebody else's cocktail.
I like the bee's knees. I like that.
It was delicious when I made it, and then didn't think about taking a picture of it. But well, there's that.
I think the last one I took was it was on the last nice day when it was really beautiful outside, and it's a parsley julep. So instead of a mint julep, it's parsley. So it's just pretty much gin and parsley and simple syrup and sparkling water.
You made your own simple syrup too, right?
I did.
Of course she did.
I did.
You probably grew the parsley.
You know, I wish I had a green thumb. I do not.
Oh.
Because listen, the grocery stores would be in trouble if I had a green thumb, because I'm telling you. And the thing is, I have time to grow one, so we'll see.
Coming at us
all the time.
Man.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So that's our show. That is our show.
That's
Alisha.
it.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have talked for like, I would just giggle with you for like another hour if I could.
Anything you want to ask us?
Because I don't know that I know everybody's background coming into wine, but like, what was the first inspiration for you, or like the first wine you drank that made you realize like, oh yeah, this is my thing. This is kind of what I want to get into.
The first wine. Those aren't really considered wines anymore. Let's start with that.
No, the one that got you into it as like, oh, life. Because we talk about our first wine. I mean, we're going to take it back to the big jug.
Franzia. Yeah, that was my first.
Or, I mean, if we want to go early, it was lime green. And it was called Country Quencher.
Oh.
That's what it was called.
Child.
Oh, my God.
I am not ashamed to admit that. I come from humble beginnings.
Oh, well, it was like Boone's Farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Back in the day.
Or Banana Red. What?
Banana Red.
Let us know what I'm talking about.
Actually, that Reuniti too. We thought we had.
Girl, what? Yeah. You was fancy with Reuniti.
We moved up from Boone's Farm to Reuniti. Girl, I was like, I saw Reuniti. Yeah.
That joke had a little fizz too. What? And it was the actual color of a real wine. Oh my God!
There you go. Oh, and excuse me. And I sip. I think what got me into wine, and I tell this story, but I don't want to overwhelm this audience right now, was again being challenged, and with my wine knowledge, as if I didn't know what I had ordered. I was in a small town in this southern state, and a waitress brought over something that I knew was not in the glass. She, poor thing, little young chick, got all nervous. I said, that's okay, let me take the glass. It was a work event. Walked over to the bar. I said, I'll take care of it. Let me just go over to the bar, and went to the bar. And just for the sake of this, I can't remember exactly what the name of that particular brand was. But I said, this is not a Sterling Cabernet. And the guy at the bar was like, yes, it is. I was like, no, it's not. And there was a gentleman sitting at the end. He was like, can I taste it? I was like, you want to sip out of my glass?
Alcohol kills germs, girl. It's all right.
So I gave it to him because I wasn't
going to
drink it. I wasn't going to drink it anymore. Wasn't going to drink it anymore. So I gave it to him. He said, that's not the Sterling Cabernet Sauvignon. Give her a bottle. And he was the owner. So right then and there, I I had an issue with the bartender assuming that I didn't know what I ordered, and that for me to eat, it was the gall. You could see the indignation of me even challenging him to say that he had given me the wrong wine. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna start traveling the wine areas and learning more about wine. So I didn't think that was my initial into wine.
Yeah.
I can dig
it.
Yep.
My story was my first trip to Napa. I was standing at I don't know if you've been to this winery, Artesa Winery.
I have not been there yet, but
yeah. It's in Napa, and it's really famous for its art. So it has like a lot of sculptures on the property, and there's this one sculpture that's sitting in the middle of like a man-made pond or whatever on top of this mountain. So I was sipping Chardonnay, standing in front of this art, and I could see the rolling hills there, and I was like, damn, wow, this is it. Yeah. So I've been spending years chasing that sort of feeling.
Really?
Yeah.
Aha moment.
Yeah.
The sound of the hill.
So mine is a little less exciting as far as like when I got into just wanting to know more about wine. But and I've mentioned it like a trillion times. But when I thought about wine as like a career and like this is something I can actually do, I was on an educational trip to Burgundy. And I was there with some, Master of Wines, Master of Soms, diploma. And I'm like, well, first of all, I shouldn't be here because these people are all these letters behind their names. I had no letters, no nothing. They introduced themselves. Yes, I'm a diploma student. I've been teaching for 15 years. I've done this. So I was like, hi, I'm Tanisha. Who's next? Like I had nothing. But we're tasting these, Burgundies from the 90s and the 80s. And we had this one, the Bâtard Montrachet, white Burgundy, so Chardonnay. And when I tell you, it was the most delicious thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Wow.
And I savored it. Other people were spitting. I was like, okay, yeah, y'all clearly have experience with this. I do not. I'm drinking all of it. I know that. Because I also know, like, I'm never going to taste this again. And what's also funny is I just knew it was delicious and I wanted to drink it all. I went and looked it up later and saw how much it cost. I was like, oh, I would have put the bottle in my purse had I known.
That's why the Lord did reveal that.
Right. And also I would have been so intimidated by like the wines that were there because like they were just bringing out the good stuff. And so being there, drinking that wine, and then later passing the exam that we had to take at the end of this education trip, that was kind of my first, when I was really like, okay, we're going to do this. Wine it is. This is where we're going to pursue this as a career and see where it goes. And
nice.
Here we are.
And voila.
Nice.
And voila.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. I love hearing people's stories. I think it's interesting the different ways we can all find our way into that circle and that arena. And it's just, there's so many different entry points. It's fun. It's a fun industry. It's a fun hobby.
It is.
Or vice, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Alisha, where can everybody find you and your blog?
If you go to, you can do alishasommer.com. That'll take you everywhere that you need to be. I mostly hang out on Instagram. So it's just Alisha_Sommer, Sommer with the O. And that's mostly where you find me, in my home, but you can't come here, so I'll be, I plan on
be outside at the window, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I heard you on the podcast. Hello.
That's where I can find, or where I can be found, or where I would like you to find me, is in those spaces. And hopefully, maybe I'm really looking forward to people being able to come back to wine country, because I feel like every single time I make a new connection, like now I have more people to go wine tasting with, who really want to taste wine.
Right. You don't have people there?
You know what? So being in the so the suburbs are the same everywhere. And so being in the suburbs, it's more of like like my husband and I always tell people too, like when people come over for dinner, that like they drink. We don't drink. We drink wine. Like we taste, we drink wine, we savor, we enjoy it. But people treat tasting rooms a lot, and you've probably run into this too. But like they're bars, and like a tasting room is not a bar. It's
exactly.
a place to get educated. It's really
embarrassing.
Yeah.
I've been embarrassed like that before. Been like, oh my God, I can't take you nowhere. I gotta walk away right now.
Yeah. My husband was like, don't people dump their wine? Because I worked behind the bar for a tasting room as an ambassador for a while. I was like, babe, as many Saturdays and Sundays as I've worked, I've only seen one person dump their wine and actually taste wine. Everybody drinks it. And she only did it because she was a somm at La Petite Crème. Like, because she, she's the like literally all the people that I've seen, nobody ever does it. So like, I would love to, I want to go and venture off with folks into wine country who like can taste.
I got one more question.
Yes.
I have one more question. So I'm watching this terrible show. It's absolutely awful, but I can't stop watching it. And it's like 8 seasons and I'm on like season 3. But anyway, it's this show called Below Deck, right?
Below Deck.
And it's about the staff and the people who come on this yacht. And this yacht is massive with rooms and a kitchen. There's a private chef. And they slipped one episode and said how much it costs. And they said $200K. So $200K for like, I guess a couple of days.
What?
For a yacht. And this is the Mediterranean season. So the first season was Greece. The second season was Croatia. And the third season is Italy. So you got these people, they get on this yacht. It's probably like, I don't know, maybe 5 to 7 people at a time. And they have this yacht to themselves and the staff has to wait on them hand and foot. And they have to list all of their food preferences, what they want. If it's somebody's birthday, have a cake. If they want to have a black and white tie event, they have to do that. If they want to have a rodeo or a hoedown or something, the staff has to cater to them. Whatever they want. I mean, $200K is a lot of fucking money. So yeah. So anyway, so my question to y'all is, what would you drink on your yacht?
I mean, champagne to start.
Champagne.
For sure.
I mean, right? Champagne.
Champagne
for sure.
Oh, I just splurged on a nice bottle of champagne the other day when I went out. I said, I need to stay my ass in.
Yeah, I think it would only be vintage champagne. I'm pretty sure like that's the only thing I would drink. Well, it also goes with everything, so it wouldn't matter what I ate.
Right.
I just drink champagne. Right.
Yeah. Am I just picking one thing?
Well, I mean, it's an open question.
She only
champagne.
What would you drink?
I'm also drinking high-end Burgundy.
I was gonna say Burgundy would be the reds. Yeah.
Reds.
Yeah, I'm doing it for whites because my.
For whites. Oh, really?
Oh, the whites.
You like white Burgundy? Yeah.
Yes.
So I love red Burgundy. I do that. Although I will say I've been drinking some 85. I've had a couple of 85s because it's my birth year. And when we find them, we grab them if we can. The 85 vintage is drinking really nicely, and if you can find the good deals, I think I would drink my birth year right now if I were going on that yacht right now, because this is probably one of the last years you'll be able to drink them. But
mine is only a collectible.
No, girl, get a port. You're fine.
Oh, ports, yes. Oh my gosh, port. Oh, I do also love vintage port. I didn't think I liked port, and then I did a tasting, and then I realized I only like vintage port. So my husband said my problem is once I start drinking the good stuff, now I only want the good stuff.
Oh,
and so it's like
it's a hard problem.
It's a very big problem. Yeah,
it's hard.
When people bring you crap, you're like, oh, I can't drink this. They're like, hey, I have this new bottle of wine. It's from Charles Shaw. Have you heard of it? I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll have a gin and tonic, please.
Gin and tonic. Vintage port. Yeah, vintage port would be good too. So there you go. What else?
You know what I would have them do? Depending on the location of my yacht, of course, I would have some sort of sparkling wine. They do that automatically. They bring out champagne, real champagne for you as you're getting on the yacht.
Right.
Yeah, I got to ask you what kind of champagne though. I'm particular.
Right.
Oh, I'm so sure. Right.
I'm not gonna bring me no Andre.
No. Oh my God, it is real champagne. It's real champagne. I mean, it's V-Day. It's just the regular,
Right.
But I would tell them to do a wine tasting based on my location.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Mm.
I would have them ship wine from Greece or Croatia or
That would be
wherever.
the first one. Is
And
bomb.
I'm not going to do that for you. That's work. Like, get the local psalm or whoever can help
Exactly.
you to do the tasting and do the wine tasting on the boat.
And surprise you with that.
Yeah.
Player.
Yep.
Going to
Ta-da! Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. You know my email address and my address just in case you hit the lotto and you decide.
Oh, that's what's happening. Okay.
But really, I would love to do like every morning have a I love Bloody Marys too. So Bloody Mary station and people could
because they're good.
Different
yes.
fixings.
Yes.
If you wanted to do vodka or if you wanted to do gin, because I've had it both ways. I prefer vodka, but Bloody Mary bar for the morning and a mimosa bar.
Glennis, I would love to see you on the show, by the way, because you would entertain the shit out of me on the show. Because of course there's been
but why is it so bad? That's what I want to ask. Why is it so terrible?
I must start watching it.
Because it's dramatic. It's more about the drama within the crew. So they touch on that. So you see both sides. You see how they struggle with service because they can't fuck up at $200K. And the thing is, they're working for tips. They get a salary, but they're working for huge tips at the end. Yeah. At the end of this, service or whatever.
So they start handing out hundreds and some big Franklins and not no George Washingtons.
Yes. So based on what I've seen, the tip has been maybe $12,000 to like $22,000 to split amongst the crew. So the better they do, the bigger the tip is going to be. So
you really looked at it. 20% of 200,000 is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if somebody tipper for real, if they not cheap,
true.
They must try to leave $200 for the whole crew. Like, excuse me, it's 20 of us. What are we? What is this?
So on piggybacking on the one wine, what would be like your last meal? Like if you had only one more meal, what would be the last meal? What are you eating?
Oh, damn. High. Can we do a high end and low end?
Yeah, do a high and low. Do a high low.
Okay.
Because that would be White Castle. Damn it.
White Castle. Listen, now that we added in low end, you know what my low end meal finna be.
Girl.
I know what yours is.
That's so one note. Okay.
High end. It would be a seafood meal. I could just do some lobster and shrimp, and you could whatever else you want to add to the plate, but definitely be lobster and shrimp. I'm simple because I don't eat a whole lot of different meats anyway, and these two could tell you. So, yeah.
Your last meal, you probably be like, I'm just gonna cook it myself. Let me just get a handful of granola. Like, I know what this is about.
But see, if somebody else is cooking, not too many people can add stuff that I'm not gonna like to lobster.
You're gonna bring it from home.
You're like, can you cook this?
On the second shelf in my refrigerator, and then right on the inside of the door. Mm-hmm. It's the third bottle in. No, from the left. Get that one.
Oh gosh. Don't think bad of me, Alisha.
Okay. Tanisha, what's yours?
Low end, y'all know it's gonna be fried chicken.
Popeyes.
It doesn't have to be specifically Popeyes, but delicious fried chicken. So, I mean, if y'all want to ship that in from Chicago and give me some Harold's, that would be great. Salt and pepper, mild sauce. Thank you. High end, we're either doing duck or lamb.
And I don't eat neither one of them jokers.
Like a nice roasted, like full lamb, or like a duck, and then like some, fries that are fried in the duck fat, or some potatoes from the duck fat. Yeah. What I can't decide between lamb or duck, so one of those.
Okay.
Okay, for me, For the high, I'm gonna go with seafood, but I want everything grilled. So I want the lobsters split in half. I want the big shrimp split in half. Clams, oysters. I want everything split in half and grilled. Little butter, little herbs on there. Keep it simple. Maybe some. You know what? We're gonna keep it even more simple and do a gigantic baked potato, and I can just dress it up or whatever. Maybe some grilled asparagus. Boom. There you go. For low end, I'm gonna do carry out. I'm gonna do a DC carry out and get the fried chicken wings with mumble sauce and salt and pepper and the fries. And
some cheesesteak egg rolls.
You know, if I ate beef, I would.
Bomb. I'm sorry. It sounds weird. This thing is delicious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with fried chicken from the
You say carryout. I ain't know what from the carryouts. I'm like, DC carryouts have literally everything. I'm like, I don't know if you
they
want
do. They do.
Shrimp egg foo young. Like, I don't know what you finna
get. They do. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, that's mine.
Yes. Okay.
And a red pop.
Red pop. My low would be also fried chicken. Really any good fried chicken, but I just had Willie Mae's last time I was in New Orleans, so I think I'd have to go with that.
That ain't low though. That's like home cooked meal.
But I don't make it at home, and my mom never made it when I was only my grandma made grandma made fried chicken. My mom never made fried chicken, so I never got it as a kid, except when I visited my grandma. So anybody's fried chicken is a treat to me because I never got to get it. Yeah, we eat pretty healthy. I live in California. Everybody is
It's all avocado toast and quinoa bowls.
Yes. It is. It's true.
I'd be so hungry.
We also have steak. We also have a lot of cow though. We eat a lot of cow, and Brentwood sweet corn is like legitimately the best corn I've ever had. It is so good. High end, I'd have to go with seafood as well, like a smorgasbord of like scallops, shrimp, some lobster. But I have to have creme brulee as dessert. Okay. Yeah. Cheesecake, yeah.
But like Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, like that amount of selection and a piece that big. I want my selection that big with all that whipped cream.
I want Junior's New York.
I have to say, I was about to say Junior's is better.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted like the variety and that size of a slice.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I got you. Cool. I got you.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you.
Well, Alisha, this was so fun.
This was fun. Thank you.
This was awesome.
Thanks for
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for rescheduling from last time. I'm glad because I feel much better now. So it was much more enjoyable. I was sick, I think, last time too. So yeah, this is good.
Well, great. Yeah. Well, everybody stay healthy.
Yes.
They're healthy as well.
Inside. Wash your hands and don't touch your face.
Yeah. Yep. Just don't go anywhere. Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. Yeah.
Unless it's essential. So the wine shop.
Oh yeah, I had to go to the wine shop last Friday.
I'm going tomorrow. I forget it. I just gotta go.
Right. Hey, Tanisha, how do you pronounce? I bought. I was at Total Wine. They had a sale. They had Perrier Jouet Belle EPOQUE. Epoque. That's what and it had 2 glasses, so that's what I bought.
Oh, very nice.
See, that's why they stay my ass in the house. It was like, it's a package deal. You got 2 glasses.
You're like, this is perfect.
So when are you gonna drink it?
I don't know. Maybe my birthday next year. On my 50th.
Oh, you want to save it? Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm buying something to drink on the day we can get out.
I got some other stuff for that.
Yeah.
I want to drink something for that.
I'm gonna be acting like OG.
And then you can't even go right out because I'm gonna need to get my nails done, my hair done. Like I can't just walk like right out. Like I can't just I'm not ready yet.
Alisha, what is the first thing you're gonna do when you're free?
Gosh, I don't know. It's probably go to work. I don't want
that was Glennis's answer last week.
You American, you.
Yeah. I mean, no, the first thing I think we will probably also open some champagne. I'll have to go get some from somewhere. But yeah, champagne or maybe I'll just drive over to Napa or go see the ocean because we can't, they close all the beaches and the parks. So like I have all this time, I can't go anywhere. So I want to go to the beach and see the ocean. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Nice. I want to get on a plane and go to the ocean. That's what I am.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be out of this by October and I'll be
October, girl. Now I'm not gonna make it. Now jumping out the window before then. I'm doing all right. 6 to 8 weeks. October.
Actually going somewhere.
Okay.
If they let us out before then, I probably won't fly anywhere until. So.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Beautiful.
Good night, everyone.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Good night.